use the selectors, few examples we learned. And so in the styles, different types of selectors, the purpose of ID, class, and type selector, how to use them we'll learn. Those are the basic selectors actually. After understanding these selectors, now we need to know about other categories of CSS selectors. We discussed about the CSS priority also, cascading rules, which one it will apply first, ID or type or class, these are options defined. So if you remember the rules, type, ID, class, so which is having more priority? Remember that point, which is having more priority? First priority is given for so ID, right? The second priority is for class, right? And the third is type, right? So if all are applied to one element and having the same effects, then it will apply according to priority. If different effects are there, then all three are applied. All three are applied if different effects are there. So that is actually the basic selectors, right? Next important, after understanding these basic selectors, the selectors of CSS are further classified into several. We have combinators, or we call as rational selectors. We have combinator or rational selectors. Actually, combinators, rational selectors, they are based on parent and child hierarchy, and they are based on the relation with other elements. So parent-child hierarchy and relation with other elements. That's what actually combinators. In that first important, so we are having in the rational selectors. So we are having descendant select. So we are having child selector. And we are having adjacent sibling. We have general sibling, like this. So descendant selector, child selector, adjacent selector, and adjacent sibling, and general sibling. These are the selectors. This comes under the category of combinators actually. That means how they work, let's see. So first, suppose we are defining one element, suppose div. So inside this div, So we have paragraphs. So para 1, so some para 2 like this, and para 3 like this we have. These paragraphs are the child elements of div. They are the child elements of div. So child elements of div. So similarly, ordered list can have list items like that. Now, if I want to apply to all paragraphs inside that particular div, now sometimes what happens is, so we are having the fourth paragraph. We created a span. In that span, we have para 4. In that we have a paragraph, para 4. So generally, the para 4 is not direct child of div. It is not direct child of div. So it is the child of div, but not direct. Direct child of div is span. In that span, the para 4 is present. Others are direct childs. Now, the descendant selector is defined like this: the parent and space child, and we define the effects: parent space child. So here the parent is div, space child is paragraph. For that, what effect you want? Color as red. So this indicates it will apply that color to all paragraphs inside that div, to all paragraphs inside the div. It can be direct child, or it can be direct child, or it can be indirect child. That means it can be at any level. So now what happens here is, you can see when we run this page, it will apply the color red for all paragraphs. It is going to apply red for all paragraphs. So para 1, 2, 3, and 4. For all paragraphs, it is working. This is actually child selector. Descendant selector, actually. Descendant selector. Child selector is defined like this: parent greater than child, like this. This indicates it will apply effects only to direct child. It will apply effects only to the direct child. So it will not apply to others. Direct child. That means here you can see when I put a greater than symbol here, that means it will apply only to direct childs. So direct childs are paragraph 1, 2, 3. For fourth paragraph, it's not applied. The effects are not applied. So if you want to apply to all childs, put a space. It will apply to all. Only to direct, then put this. It will apply only to direct. Actually, if the child is present at multi-level hierarchy, you can write multi-level also, right? Suppose I am writing like div. In that, so div, you have span. In that span, we have paragraph. That means it will apply only to the fourth one. You can write like this. So it will work only to the direct childs. Now suppose We also have para 5. In the same span, we have para 5. Now it is going to apply for both of them because they are present as childs inside this span. Then it can apply that. So if you want to apply to direct child, then we can define this greater than. So space will apply to all. Will apply to all. So that is the descendant selector and the child selector. So these are 2 points. Now another important is when you are dealing with adjacent. For example, I have written like this. Suppose I have a div. So let's keep a div, let's keep a div here. And in this I given as web technologies. And under the div, we have para 1 and para 2. So para 3, like this. Para 3. So these are the options and para 4. Now, if I write like this, so div space paragraph, color is red. To which paragraph it will apply? To which paragraph it will apply? Can you tell? To which paragraph it will apply? Can you tell? That means you haven't understood the previous concept what I told. So are these paragraphs child of div? Are they child of div? Then how they will apply? They are not child of div, and you are using a child selector. So they are not child. They are what? They are siblings. Siblings means after the div. Understood? They are not child. They are siblings. After the div. In that case, now you have for siblings, you see, it will not apply to any of them. For siblings, we have, so one is plus. It will apply to the immediate adjacent paragraph. Adjacent paragraph means which paragraph will apply? Which paragraph it will apply? Plus means adjacent. Adjacent means immediate sibling. Immediate sibling is paragraph 1 only. That is immediate sibling. It will apply only to that immediate sibling, para 1. It will not apply to div. You are specifically saying that it is for paragraph adjacent to the div. That means it will apply only to para 1. This is called adjacent sibling. Already while working with checkboxes, I told you one example. So how we can refer. This is adjacent sibling actually. Now it will apply to the immediate occurrence, next occurrence. Now we have another symbol, tilde, that is general sibling. That means it will apply to all siblings. Now it is going to apply to all paragraphs under that heading. So we have adjacent sibling. That means the root plus the child. Like this we have to define. General sibling, so the root and tilde child. So it will apply to all. So we can apply to parent, we can apply to child. So we can apply to descendant, child selector, adjacent, and general siblings. These are all under the category of actually combinators. So child is given with space, which will apply to all. And this descendant, child is given with this greater than, less than. So then it will apply to only direct child. And adjacent, so to the next general sibling to all, it will apply to all. I hope everyone is clear with this four. Understood? Understood the difference? Descendant selector, child selector, adjacent selector, and the general sibling. Good, right. Next important in the selectors, we have attribute selectors. Attribute selectors. Generally, attribute selectors are used to apply effects based on the attribute of a tag, because many times one problem that will come here is, I will show you. Suppose we are designing some form. So we have like username, and here we have a text box. Input type is equal to text, and password. So input type is equal to password, and we have like button. Input type is equal to button, and this is like value submit, or say yes, login. And another button, input type is equal to button, and value is equal to class. Now here all are input elements only. All are input elements only. That means text box comes with input, password comes with input, button comes with input. All are inputs only. So if I want to apply effect for them, I write input, background color yellow. Then it is going to apply to all of them. But I want to apply only to button. So how the button comes? So you cannot write here button, because it is not a button element. It's not a button element. So button is tag name or attribute name. In this example, is button tag name or attribute name? Is tag name or attribute name? What do you say? So button is tag name or attribute name. So in this example, button is actually, yeah, good, attribute name. That means we need to apply effect to an attribute of tag. Then what we have to do is, first you have to write the tag. Tag is input. After that, in the square brace, you have to tell the attribute name. Attribute is type. is equal to, you have to tell the value of attribute. Value is button. Like this we define. This is called attribute selector. That means if input type is equal to button, that means if the attribute type is equal to button, then it will apply effects. So this is attribute selector, because many times we don't want to apply to element, we want to apply to based on the attribute. Then we have to use this attribute selector. Actually, attribute selector, suppose I said type is equal to password, type is equal to password, it will apply only for password. So depending on the type that you define, it's not only form. For example, I have paragraph. So this is para 1 and para 2 and para 3. In this one paragraph is having an ID as para 2, and fourth paragraph is also having, para 4 is also having ID para 4, but those IDs are different. Now I want to apply for second and fourth paragraph. I want to apply second and fourth paragraph. Now if I write like this, P ID is equal to para 2. So then it will apply, suppose color red, it will apply only to second paragraph. And you can see it is applying only to second paragraph. But I want to apply to the second and fourth paragraph. Then can you tell what is common in them? What is the common in second and fourth paragraph? But if I write P element, it will apply to all paragraphs, no? It will apply to first and third paragraph also. Then tell me what is common in them. So other than paragraph, the common is the ID attribute common, but value is not common. Then you can write like this also. You can write like this, only attribute, no value. Without value, you can write only attribute. Only attribute. So that means it will apply to all paragraphs that have ID. That ID value may be anything, but it is just having ID or not. So then you can see that it is going to apply for those paragraphs, second and fourth. So that is attribute selector. You can define based on attribute value, or you can define based on the attribute. Now, in this attribute selector, conditions are present. Conditions nothing but actually. So here we define attribute equal to value. So this is equal condition. So that is equal to, it is exactly matching. We have attribute. So exponent equal value. This is referring to start with, and attribute attribute dollar equal value. This indicates ends with. And you have attribute asterisk equal value. Equal value. So this indicates any position, any position. So we have attribute tilde equal. So we have attribute tilde equal value. So this indicates, so starts with specified and can contain blank space That's what actually attribute selector is. In that we have conditions, actually so many conditions will be there. So let's see what is that actual starts with, ends with, any position. In attributes we have these conditions actually. Suppose I am writing like some paragraphs. So para 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 paragraphs are there. So and some para 5. Okay. Now for this we are giving ID effects. So or I am writing like ID or class. You can write anything. Class is equal to effects. So another class effects para. So then another class para effects be written like this, effects. And another class I given as para effects styles, something like this, para effects styles. Now actually here we are having different types of classes. We are having different types of classes. We can have class, so para effects like this we have. Now if I write here p paragraph id class is equal to effects color as red, to which paragraph they will apply effects? Tell me. Because effects is a class word used everywhere. To which paragraph they will apply? Good. This is equal. Equal means it will apply to the exact matching. Exact matching is the first paragraph. It will apply to first. Exact matching is to the first paragraph. So it will apply to the first paragraph. Next, we have effects defined like this. So exponent equal, that indicates starts with. So tell me for which paragraph now it will apply. Good. It will apply to first and second. That means it is going to apply to first and second because they are starting with dollar equal and with. Now for which paragraph they will apply? For which paragraph they will apply? Obviously first paragraph also will apply. Why you are missing first paragraph? I don't know. Because first paragraph is starting and ending both, right? So it will apply for the first paragraph and it will apply for the third paragraph and it is going to apply for the fifth paragraph. So that is ending with. Then it will apply for all of them. So that means para 1, para 3 and para 5. That is ending with. Start with, end with. Now if I give here asterisk, this indicates any occurrence, any location. It will apply to all paragraphs. Asterisk indicates any location, so it will apply to all paragraphs. It's going to define the paragraph. And if I apply tilde, actually tilde is going to apply only to the first one. Generally, tilde is used for managing spaces. That means suppose para space effects like this I am having. Now till will apply for both of them. That means the exact match and which is having a space. So for that we have to use the tilde operator. And actually there is another operator, that is this pipe operator. Attribute pipe equal to all val or. That's actually not equal. Generally this is used to define effects which is separated with hyphen. That means now para effects, if it is separated with hyphen, so it is not applying to the fifth one, because separated with space only it can apply. Tilde means. So if I give this pipe symbol, it has two conditions, starts with and separated with. That means for fifth paragraph it's not applying. Why? Because it has two conditions, separated with hyphen and starts with. That means actually it should start with effects hyphen para, like this we have defined. That means it should start with and it contain hyphen. That is the condition. If you want to check the spaces also, then we have to use tilde. Hyphens, then you have to use this. Because generally when we write styles, traditionally we use hyphens for defining the effects in a clear format. So we use spaces and we use hyphens. But spaces are to apply multiple classes. Hyphen is to separate the prefix and suffix of the name. For that we use hyphens actually. So that is the reason, based on that we need to define. So equal, direct matching. This is starting with, this is dollar is ending with, this is any location, this is containing blank space, this is containing hyphen but starts with and contains hyphen. So these are all attribute selectors. How we can define attribute selectors? This is attribute selectors. So I hope everyone understood these also. Is it clear? Attribute selectors. Everyone clear with these attribute selectors, right? Good. Right. Next, in the selectors, we have dynamic pseudo classes, dynamic pseudo classes. Actually, dynamic pseudo classes, what is the meaning is, dynamic means can change according to situation. Dynamic means can change according to situation. Pseudo, it means pseudo is nothing but, so they have a, that means the reference name is not the exact element name. Reference name is not exact the element name. That means, for example, if I write here link, so link, generally link means which element will come in HTML. Link means which element will come in HTML. In HTML, link means which element? What do you say? Link means which element? Link means which element? Huh. So actually, link means link element, not A element. A is anchor, na? A is anchor, it's not link. You know it technically? I told you that. We have a link element actually. We have a link element. A is not technically link. A is not technically link. A is technically called as anchor. It is called as anchor. It is a hyperlink. It's not a link, it is a hyperlink. I hope everyone understood the point actually. So generally link word should apply to this link element. But this link word is to use it to apply to anchor element. That means its name is different and the element it applies is different. The name is different, the element it applies is different. That is why it is called as pseudo. Pseudo means they will confuse you. So confuse why? Because their name looks like another element, but they will apply to some other element. So that is why they are called as pseudo. We call it as pseudo. Dynamic because they change. They change. And classes. Actually, classes means to any element. To any element means type. Type is paragraph or any ID para or any class para. To any ID, to any class or to any element, you want to apply pseudo classes. Pseudo classes. Classes are implemented by using a colon. Class name. We have to use a colon. Class name. We have to define the class name. Colon. Class name. So when you are applying a class selector, classes are defined with colon. Are defined with colon. And what are the dynamic pseudo classes available? So the dynamic pseudo classes, we have the options like link, we have visited, we have hover, we have active, we have focus. These comes under the pseudo selectors. These are dynamic pseudo classes. The dynamic pseudo classes can change according to the situation actually. We have link, we have visited, we have hover, and active and focus. Actually, link and visited are used for hyperlinks. They are used for hyperlinks. Active also for hyperlink. Link, visited, active, these are for hyperlinks. And hover and focus can be used. Focus is used for form elements. We use focus for form elements. And hover is used for any element. For any element, you can define them. These are pseudo classes. Generally, what is the purpose of these pseudo classes you see now? So already we learned about hyperlinks concept, and here I am writing. So an anchor href is equal to amazon.in, and we have write Amazon like this. And another link href is equal to this is some contact.html, like we have contact. Now you know that generally we have here two colors, visited link and normal link. Normal link is blue color. Already we discussed that if I want to apply color for normal links, then we have to use a::link. Anchor normal links, color I keep as some green. So you can see normal link color will be green. If I want to change visited link color, then visited link color. So a visited. So visited link color I can give as some gray. So visited link color will be in gray color. And active link color I want to change. Active means we have to write active. So the active link color I will keep as red. That means when I move the mouse onto the link and hold down, it becomes active. So that is active. Hold down, that becomes active. So it can apply that colors. Not only colors, you can use so many. For example, for ordinary links, if I want to remove underline, then I can use text decoration as none. Then it will remove underline for ordinary links. We can add several effects, borders, shades, backgrounds, anything. So link, visited, active. These three are the pseudo classes. Why they are called pseudo classes? Because they change according to situation. Suppose we have a contact page and the contact page is visited, then its color will change. Observe carefully. Suppose in this folder, we have contact.html and I just given a heading contact us. And you can see they visited that contact page and come back, its color changes. So the general effects for link, the visited and the active. Active will be like this. On mouse over and hold down, it will be active. We have another option, hover. Hover means mouse pointer is over. When mouse pointer is over, I want to display underline. Then I can write anchor hover. Anchor hover, then text decoration underline, I give an underline. That means when I move the mouse onto it, underline will come. And when I come out of it, it will be removed. That is hover. Hover means mouse pointer is over. You can apply this hover to any element. For example, suppose I have some image. So we have some image. Image source is equal to assets some shoe.jpg. So width is 100, height also 100. Now what I am doing here is img hover. That means when mouse pointer is over, the width I will set to 200 pixels and height to 200 pixels. Its size will increase on hover. Initially, it looks normal, but when I move the mouse onto it, its size will increase. Its size is increasing. That's hover. I will keep that in the next line here, and you can see the size is increasing. The size is increasing. On hover, it is changing. And to change from ordinary to hover, again from hover to ordinary, it is just taking just 1 second of time. What you can do is you can write here transition 2 seconds. Transition you can give in timing. So if I give transition 2 seconds, that means to change into this 200, it will take 2 seconds. Now you see, when I move the mouse, it will slowly zoom like this. And when I move the mouse out, it is normal. It is slowly zooming. But on mouse out also, it should be normal. It will take 2 seconds. Then what we do is generally image. So image, if it is not hover, then transition. So 2 seconds. So that means you can see now on mouse over, it will take 2 seconds. And out again, it will go normal. That's how we can manage the effects. We can configure the effects. So this is technically hover. That means on mouse over, how we are defining. This can be applied for anything, for any content. So changing the effects for any content. So hover is not only for link, it is used for any element. But link visited active, this can be used only for link, Focus. Focus means when any element gets focus. Actually, that is mostly used for text boxes. The focus is mostly used for text boxes. So suppose you have a div username and a text box. Input type is equal to text. I can highlight the text when the mouse pointer is inside it, when it gets focus. That means you have to just write input colon focus. When input gets focus, border I given as 2 pixel, so solid. And you can see that. So when I click inside, it will be 2 pixel solid border. You can put some background colors, anything. And I click outside, that becomes normal. So on mouse, on click inside, means it gets focus. When it gets focus, it will display this. On focus, it is going to add effects. And on blur, once it loses focus, it will go. Not only adding effects, actually, we can do a lot of activities like showing and hiding. For example, beside the text box, we have a span. That span we are having like name in block letters. Block letters. Now this ID I will give as txt name. So here how to access it? We can access hash txt name. That means in normal, the span beside it, that means plus span, that is adjacent. Display will be none. Display none. That means it will not show. That message will not show. But when the text box txt name gets focus, then the span beside it must display inline. Display inline will display side. Display block will display below. That means, so when mouse is, when you click inside it, that means it gets focus. Then automatically when it gets focus, you can see that. So that title will display there, name in block letters. I click outside, it will hide. I click inside, it will display. That's good. That means we can display on click. When it gets focus, it can display that effect. So it's not just adding effect to that element. We can add effects to the adjacent elements also, depending on the requirement. So that is to indicate whether the element is active or not. That is, you can define focus. So these are all the pseudo classes. So in the pseudo classes, so you have link, you have visited, so you have hover, active, and focus. So these are all the pseudo classes and pseudo class selectors. So next, in the pseudo classes, we also have a pseudo class target. Target, I hope you remembered already, we discussed in hyperlinks. In hyperlinks concept, intra-document navigation, I given you the target. I hope everyone remembered. No need to explain again, right? So you remember the target. Target means when any block becomes the target, automatically it will apply the effects. That concept we discussed about intra-document navigation. When we are learning about intra-document navigation, we have discussed about the target concept. That means generally, so what happens is, this is where target we discussed. This example already we learned. So in this, there is no much information to scroll. When I click on the link, that topic becomes target. So for that, we have used a target selector. If I click on the link, the target, it becomes target, then it will highlight. This concept already we learned. This concept all get, and it defines it. So this is a general one. So this is a general option actually. And already we learned in the links concept how to use this target. That means when hyperlinks are using target, and the target is an intra document, and there is no much information to scroll, automatically when the topic becomes target, it will highlight the topic with some effects. This is generally discussed already. We learned about that. So that is a target selector. I given an example for that also in the hyperlinks only directly. So these are all under the category of general pseudo classes. Now we have another, so pseudo it classes, and we have pseudo validation classes. Pseudo state classes, pseudo validation classes. So there are so many other options. So for that we can apply effects. based on the validations that we will see in our next session. Tomorrow we will see about that. And tomorrow we will finish selectors with all the example. Now, once we finish selectors, we can go with other attributes and effects in CSS now. So all these notes is already uploaded into Classroom. Tomorrow we will learn about other selectors and we will finish all the selectors. Several more selectors are there. We need to learn, and tomorrow we will finish that. Okay. Right.